I want to know what the mood's like in Glasgow School of Art after all that's happened. 2 fires. Piles of rubble. Lots of scaffolding. Lots of criticism. Accusations of mismanagement. Calls for public inquiries. The art school, it's fair to say, has become a bit of a bunker over the last few years. And the mood inside? Frustration. It's frustration because the men and women who run the school think the criticism that's been thrown at them is unfair. Look at our record, they say, we're among the top-ranked institutions of the UK and the world, we're way oversubscribed for students, we've won lots of awards and we're doing really innovative work. And yet all everyone wants to talk about is the building. You might say, no wonder. The art school's world-famous, much-adored Mackintosh building was damaged by a fire in 2014. The students and staff stood in the street and cried. Then 4 years later the building was hit by another, much worse fire. And the students and staff stood in the street again, looking at what was left. One of them was Professor Nora Kearney, chairwoman of the school's board of governors. She remembers someone phoning her on the night of the second fire to tell her what was happening. No, there must be some mistake, she thought at first. Not again. But it was true, and the next day Professor Kearney stood in the road outside the Mackintosh and surveyed the damage. After the first fire, the then chairwoman Muriel Gray said the majority of the building was still intact. It was a miracle, she said. But there was no such luck after the second fire. We were months away from opening, Professor Kearney tells me. It was devastating. However, Professor Kearney also wants to make an appeal for perspective. She loves the Mackintosh as much as anyone else, she says, but the art school is more than one building. She indicates the room we're sitting in, at the front of the Reed building opposite the Mack. The art school is the ethos that exists in every one of the buildings, she says. The fact that we had a heritage building as part of our estate was really important, and continues to be so, but the life of the school goes on. We're not compromising on the education. Professor Kearney says it's frustrating, but understandable, that the public and political reaction, and a lot of the media coverage, has continued to focus on the fires instead. In March, the Scottish Parliament's Culture Committee said the art school did not give sufficient priority to safeguarding the building after the first fire. They also called for a public inquiry. Other critics have gone even further and suggested the management of the Mackintosh building should be taken out of the art school's hands altogether. The problem with this, as far as Professor Kearney is concerned, is that she believes a lot of what's been said in public is for more on this story. Visit the news article link.